This is insane. This is absolutely insane. What a loser. Total, undeniable loser.
They're gonna let those 18,000 people die because you refuse to look at the reality of what Israel has become. For God's sake, do you have any morality at all? America, let's go, let's get free. Let's get free of Israel. I can't stand this.
They think they get to do whatever they want and everyone needs to bow their heads to them. No, sorry, we do not comply.
Israel has now killed at a minimum 258 journalists in this conflict. It is more than
in this genocide.
In this genocide, and that is more journalists than all other conflicts in the world combined in that time period. The Russians are doing plenty of damage in Ukraine. There's some significant civil wars going on in Africa, but they're nowhere near the body count of Israel on journalists. Why? Because Israel's trying to kill the journalists.
Yep.
Israel has assassinated Shireen Abu Akleh, an American journalist, right? And CNN even concluded that they assassinated her. They've killed all of these journalists so that you cannot see what's going on in Gaza. And they don't allow any foreign journalists into Gaza because they know that if you put cameras in there and you have real journalists, people are gonna go, oh, it turns out the Israelis are genocidal maniacs who are slaughtering these people.
We already know though.
Okay.
I mean, banning the journalists, slaughtering the journalists, didn't hide your war crimes, did it?
So, but again, we go back to the giant liars in establishment media. Jamal Khashoggi killed by the Saudis. You saw us be furious about that, right? They dismembered the poor guy, Washington Post columnist, not an American citizen, but it doesn't matter. He's a Washington Post columnist. How dare you, right? So we condemn Saudi Arabia 200%. That's one journalist Saudi Arabia killed. Israel kills 258 journalists. 258 versus 1. No condemnation from anyone in traditional media at all, at all. Like you got great heroes like Trey Yingst, who's on Fox News, believe it or not. We're fair and honest, and that brother's doing great work. Jeremy Diamond doing great work. Calissa Ward, she condemned it. Yingst condemned the journalists being killed. But outside of them, almost all the major anchors are like, no, cover up the news, don't let anyone find out how disgusting Israel is, how they murder journalist after journalist. Okay, now, let me ask you this. So the main reason that the Israelis give for the 58-year occupation of the Palestinians, where they have kept them enslaved for 58 years, 5.5 million Palestinians is, well, they hate us.
Yeah, they do hate you. They do
I
hate
wonder
you.
why.
Seriously, like, do you see how you behave and how the international community, other than Americans that you've bought, how they see you? I mean, do you think people are gonna like you? Do you think people are gonna like you?
And you know what the problem with this mindset that they have?
They're entitled. That's the problem with the
100%.
mindset. They think they get to do whatever they want and everyone needs to bow their heads to them. No, sorry, we do not comply. When you act like genocidal lunatics and maniacs, people are gonna see you as genocidal lunatics and maniacs. And you can go ahead and call me an anti-Semite, but they never call you wrong. They never tell you why you're wrong. They never do, they just smear you. They just smear you.
Okay, so how do you expect the Palestinians to not hate you when you keep slaughtering them and taking their land, and you just murdered 20,000 of their kids, and you murder their journalists, and you murder the human rights workers, and you rape them in the prisons, and you put them as hostages in the prisons without any rights at all? Are the Palestinians supposed to go, oh my God, I woke up, and despite the fact that I just got raped by Israeli guards, I now love Israel? See, why do they do that, guys? Because they set unreasonable expectations on purpose so they can never get the peace. Because they don't want peace, they want land. And so what you just saw with your own eyes over the last 2 years is that they just stole 53% of Gaza after murdering almost everyone in that area or driving them out through a campaign of ethnic cleansing. That is special, it's especially evil. They are one of the most evil governments in the world right now, and it's actually not that close. Like, oh, you should be afraid of Iran. And Iran, the Ayatollah sucks, and I hope they get a democracy in Iran, and we're fair to everyone. But don't tell me that I have to be like, oh my God, all these are evil countries. Israel's the one that's attacking all their neighbors, and they brutalize the Palestinians, and they demand that we bow our heads and finance all their war crimes, all their atrocities, and give them special treatment because we owe them. And the beatings will continue, the rapes will continue, the genocide will continue until the Palestinians love us. Until Hamas gives up all of its weapons. How do you know they gave up all their weapons? Until they all surrender. How do you know they all surrendered? Oh, right. These are impossible standards on purpose so they can murder more Palestinians and steal more of their land. But American media, shh, they're not news. American media is not news. It is pure propaganda for Israel. They won't debate it. They'll just smear you, and they'll say that Israel is the greatest thing in the world and deserves everything, and we should all shut up and be occupied by Israel. No, no thanks. America, let's go, let's get free. Let's get free of Israel. I can't stand this. I don't want to pay for a genocide. I don't want to pay for a genocide of any country, and that includes Israel.
There is a huge hypocrisy in the way that most people in the West have even paid attention to what's going on in Iran over the last 2 weeks. In just 3 days, we don't have an exact death toll, but it could be more people than have been killed in Gaza in over the 3 years that we had that war, 2.5 years of that war.
That's
but
preposterous.
why are you saying, oh my God? I mean, can I speak?
She brings up the issue of hypocrisy. And in fact, a lot of Persian Americans keep making this point over and over again. Oh, you're a hypocrite because you spoke out against the mass slaughter of Palestinians, and you have nothing to say about the Iranian protesters who have been met with violence from the Iranian regime. Okay, so let me speak slowly so these people can understand the very obvious difference, okay? So in the case of Israel and their mass slaughter campaigns in the Middle East, we the American people, for the most part, if you look at polling, do not support it, are against it. But we are forced through our federal government, because the Israel lobby has basically bought both sides of the political aisle, we are forced to send our resources to a genocidal regime known as Israel so they can carry out the mass slaughter of innocents in the Middle East, particularly in Palestine, particularly in the West Bank and Gaza. They don't stop there, of course. They also carry out their terroristic acts in places like Lebanon, Syria. I mean, you get the point. They drag us into wars on their behalf, including attempting to drag us into a disastrous regime change war with Iran. Now, in the case of what the Iranian regime does against its own people, which of course I'm against, we're not forced to support it. We're not forced to fund it. In fact, the US government has implemented crushing sanctions against Iran. So yeah, there's a big difference. Because I'm sure if you poll the American people, the majority of us are against the Iranian regime raining terror on their own people. The only difference is in the case of Gaza, we have a federal government that supports the slaughter, that forces us to use our resources and forces our government and economic system to go into massive amounts of debt to funnel resources to Israel so they carry out mass slaughter. And by the way, the woman that you just heard make that disgusting argument that Iran in just a few short days slaughtered more people in Iran than Israel has killed in Gaza. We don't know what the official numbers are in Gaza, by the way. I don't think that 70,000 or over 70,000 is the accurate number. I think the number is actually much, much higher, okay? But let's say we all accept that the number is 70,000 people killed in Gaza. This weirdo thinks that 70,000 people were killed in Iran in like a week. By the way, she denies that Israel has engaged in a mass slaughter campaign in Gaza. It's important to know that.
Aretz wrote, Israel's government told the High Court on Monday that it is standing by its refusal to allow the evacuation of seriously ill patients from the Gaza Strip for potentially life-saving medical treatment. Who doesn't let people out for life-saving medical treatment?
Israel.
Pure evil doesn't allow that. There's no excuse at all, at all. So like, I get it. There's people who, because of ethnic loyalties, are blind, and they're purposely blind. They don't want to hear any of the news from Israel. They say, oh, no, it's all the Palestinians' fault. They had it coming. They made us murder 20,000 kids. They made us not, now they're gonna pretend somehow it's the Palestinians' fault that we're not allowing those people to leave and we're making them die there. The Palestinians made us murder them? No, they didn't. You chose to murder them, and you are making that choice right now, having nothing to do with terrorism. Because they want to kill them, they want to take their land. They've already taken 53% of Gaza. They're already planning to build condos on the land that was stolen, and they're gonna build those luxury condos for Israelis, not for the Palestinians. They're giant liars, and I can guarantee it to you. No way, unless something dramatically changes, there's no way they're gonna let the Palestinians have that. What they're gonna do is they're gonna build it they're gonna get United Arab Emirates and others to give them billions of dollars, and they're gonna build condos for themselves on the graves of dead Palestinian children. Israel, you've got to turn around. It's not because the rest of the world irrationally hates you. Oh, there's nothing we can do. They all hate Jews. Netanyahu told me. He told me 1,000,000 times, it's World War Jew, and they just irrationally hate us. No, it has nothing to do with being Jewish.
Stop killing innocent people.
It has to do with a
Stop killing innocent people.
A government, the Ottoman government did the Armenian genocide. Not all Turks are guilty forever and ever. It doesn't have to do with that. These genocides happen for different races and different religions, and unfortunately that sickness moves around. And right now that sickness is smack dab in the middle of Israel. And a lot of folks with a lot of power are choosing blindness on purpose. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it because it can't be them. It can't be their people. It has to be someone else. But I'm sorry, you gotta wake up. Otherwise, the genocide's gonna continue. Otherwise, they're gonna let those 18,000 people die because you refuse to look at the reality of what Israel has become. I'm sorry, and I hate to break your heart if you're in that group, but it's become a monster. It's attacked all of its neighbors, it's killed all of these people, and it's not going to stop. They're not gonna stop killing, they're not gonna stop attacking, and they're never going to stop taking American money to do it. So we cannot fund these fascists anymore. There's a very clear fascist state in the world, and it is Israel. And we should send them zero, not another dollar to a fascist state. Let those poor innocent, injured and sick leave, for God's sake. Do you have any morality at all? If you're in favor of that policy, it's not just Netanyahu. You're evil if you think that policy makes sense. I don't want any BS excuses about, the Palestinians had it coming. No, they don't. You see how evil you look when you say outrageous things like that.
We, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from US citizens. We started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them.
He wasn't the only member of law enforcement who's been raising red flags over what ICE has been carrying out. So let me give you a few other examples. There's Chief Axel Henry from the St. Paul Police. He had something to say too. He was quoted as saying, "Can we find a way to make sure that we can do these things, meaning enforce our immigration laws, without scaring the hell out of our community members and freaking everyone out? People are scared to death and afraid to go outside." Is this the America everyone wants to live in? This has gone beyond enforcing immigration laws. I mean, it had already gone beyond enforcing immigration laws well before the police chief, Burley, decided to hold this press conference. We're just gonna be okay with racially profiling people in America, which is a diverse country that has people from all over the world who came from other countries, sure, but might have been here for multiple generations. They just don't, they don't have blonde hair, light skin. Imagine pulling cops over to ask them for their papers. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. And I'm glad that local law enforcement decided to carry out this press conference and let the American people know what's really going on in the ground. Because yeah, I get it, our media is super polarized. Our media tends to serve validation to one political extreme or the other, but what's the reality? And the reality is we are normalizing militarized federal agents on our streets. And do we want to live in that kind of society? My answer is no. I don't want to live in that type of society. In fact, I thought the United States was supposed to be better than that. I thought the United States was supposed to stand out from other authoritarian countries by not allowing people who work for us to terrorize us. And when I say work for us, I mean that in every sense of the word. We pay their damn salaries. We pay them to enforce the laws that our elected representatives passed. ICE isn't supposed to go around coercing people, threatening people, shooting people, profiling people, but that's what's going on right now. It could have something to do with the fact that, Trump doesn't really care about basic things like training. I mean, he's a moron himself, not someone who's really interested in new ideas, new information, getting trained on doing his job properly. Not really something he personally is interested in. But ICE officers went from having 6 months of training, which I would venture to say still isn't enough, but okay. They went from 6 months of training to just 47 days of training. You wanna know why? Oh, I'm the 47th president. Oh,
every time you ring the bell
if we
below, an
cut
angel
down
gets
their
a
training to
swings.
47
Totally
days.
not
What
true.
a loser.
But it does keep you updated on our live shows.
Undeniable loser. I have grown, and it's not a new thing. This has been percolating for a while. I have grown increasingly distrustful of our government, and I am not in favor of concentrating more power in our government. Unfortunately, that has been the case. That's what has happened, okay, over the last several years, especially beginning with Trump's first administration. And now we have a situation where we have militarized police officials, or I should say militarized federal agents, ICE officials, Border Patrol agents, roaming our streets, basically abusing people, racially profiling people. And I thought the mechanisms that we have in place to fight back against this type of authoritarianism, tyranny, harassment would maybe work. But here's the problem. It doesn't work when you don't have an opposition party that has, I don't know, courage, a little bit of fight in them. I mean, where are the Democrats on this issue? Other than tweeting about it, other than whining about it, other than putting statements out about it, which by the way, us American citizens can just do ourselves. We don't need to elect someone to do that for us. But they haven't done much other than that. It's so utterly frustrating and it's crazy. It's crazy. Now you literally have local law enforcement talking about how their own deputies are being racially profiled and harassed by militarized federal agents purporting to carry out immigration enforcement. Are they? Are they? If anyone thinks that Trump might distance himself from Miller, well, Senator Lindsey Graham has a warning for you. Take a look.
As to Stephen Miller, to my colleagues who believe that you can convince Donald Trump that Stephen Miller is a liability for him, good luck with that. When this clock strikes 12 on the Trump era, there'll be a few people walking out the door with Donald Trump. Stephen Miller will be in that group. So I want everybody to know on the Republican side that Stephen Miller is not the problem. Sanctuary cities is the problem.
No, you're all a problem. You're all a problem. Lindsey Graham, okay, chicken hawk, who drags us into wars that we shouldn't be involved in. You are a problem. Stephen Miller is a problem. Kristi Noem, problem. CBP under the leadership of the Trump administration, problem. ICE under the leadership of the Trump administration, problem. Problem upon problem upon problem. It's endless. Total incompetence. Let me ask anyone in the audience, I don't know how many exist, but if you're in the audience and you happen to vote for Trump, is your life better? Do you feel good? Do you feel good? Yeah, are prices lower? I mean, you look at the deportation numbers. Do you really think that this is all about deportations? Are you happy about the police state that we're living under? Are you happy about mass surveillance? Are you happy about endless foreign entanglements under this leadership? I'm just really curious because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that happened in your life under the Trump administration that makes you think, oh my God, best president in the world. But I look at the Trump administration and all I see is endless dysfunction, endless dehumanizing comments about American citizens. And honestly, one bungle after another when it comes to something that Republicans want, which is effective immigration enforcement. Trump managed to close the border, but aside from that, complete chaos, complete chaos.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.